Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right. We'll jump right into it today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Ahsoka show that is coming. Lars Mikkelsen claims he did not receive offer to play live-action Thrawn.
That's unfair.
All right, we all know, well, we don't maybe all know, but Lars Mikkelsen was the voice of Grand Admiral Thrawn in the animated Star Wars Rebels. It is now dodging rumors that he's going to be playing the character in the live-action Ahsoka, which Thrawn is heavily implied to be in.
Almost confirmed at this point.
I mean, rumors have been nuts over the past couple of years that he's going to be transitioning into the live-action version. However, he did an interview with Express Co. UK. He said that while he's aware of what the internet is saying, he has not been offered the live-action role. When asked if he was aware of the ongoing fan campaign for him to play the role in live action, he said he is, and when asked if he would like to do it, he simply said, "Well, I haven't had the offer, but yes, sure."
But this could be, he could be 100% telling the truth, right? Or he could be dodging NDAs.
At this point, he would have been recording.
Well, sure, but
there.
Well, he might be done already. We don't know how much he's actually going to be in that series.
Well, Ahsoka, I think, is in post already.
Yeah, I think Ahsoka filmed late last year, right?
If it's coming out this summer, like the speculation implies, it should be.
It should be. So he could be done, or he could have... Well, for all we know, he's really not going to be in there that much. It could be all about, the final scene of this first series, or first season, I should say, could literally be, hey, look, it's Ezra and Thrawn. Though I don't know that you would, announce the casting of Ezra just to have him,
Exactly.
Well, then again, we had Luke Skywalker for, a tenth of a second in The Force Awakens. And he was a major part of the ad campaign, or marketing.
Whether or not Mikkelsen is playing with us, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, many Star Wars sites report that he is playing Ron, it's a fact at this point, so it's really hard to believe that he isn't. His statement kind of reminds me of what Liam Neeson said about playing Qui-Gon in Obi-Wan Kenobi back in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Although this is different because it is an initial voice-acted role. Ashley Eckstein didn't come to play Ahsoka in live action. The voice actor, the Grand Inquisitor, was definitely not the voice actor in Kenobi.
No, it was not the same Grand Inquisitor, I don't think.
Even Sabine and Ezra are being cast to different actors. The only one who stayed on was Katie Sackhoff, who...
Looks,
yeah.
But the others kind of... I mean, there's similarities between some of the other voice actors. Mm-hmm. You almost thought that was kind of an intentional thing. Not that when they're making Rebels, I don't think when they were casting Rebels, they're someday we're going to do a live action Rebels. I don't know that was maybe in the back of their mind somewhere, but I don't know.
But looking at it this way, Katie Sackhoff is more of the exception than the rule.
Yes, absolutely. I think she's the only one, right? Am I missing somebody else who's made the jump from animation to live action?
Honestly, at the moment, I cannot think of one that came from the voice acting.
I don't think there is.
No. More often than not, what happens is you get a live action actor, and sometimes they'll voice the voice actor, and sometimes they'll find someone who can imitate it.
Yeah.
But this is the opposite case, where Katie Sackhoff has to be looked at the exception and not the rule, despite the fact that we want that same cadence, that same Thrawn voice that we enjoyed so much in Rebels, does not necessarily mean Lars Mikkelsen will be playing him in live action.
Yeah, which is, a shame, because I thought it's not the Thrawn voice I imagined Thrawn to have back when I was originally reading Thrawn, but it's now redefined it. When I read the new Thrawn novels, I now hear Lars Mikkelsen's voice over the original Thrawn voice I had manufactured 30 years ago in my brain.
No, this won't be a popular opinion, but is it possible to get a different actor and he still voices Thrawn?
I think that would just look... I'm not, ruling it out entirely. I don't think it's likely, but I think it would come off looking cheesy more likely.
It's hard to say. The technological skills of this age have changed immensely.
Your technological terror.
There have been multiple reports on whether or not it will be Lars Mikkelsen playing Thrawn. Some of them have even been contradictory. Cinelinx originally said it will not be Mikkelsen. Then the playlist was yeah, it's totally Mikkelsen. And then Cinelinx came back and was yep, it is actually him. So it's really anybody's ballgame. We may not know until the show comes out, until we see a trailer, which is very possible that we'll see the first trailer during Celebration.
Celebration seems the most likely, yeah.
Celebration will probably give us a trailer and a date, one could hope.
I would hope so, yeah.
I would hope so too. I'm honestly hoping we're getting a lot of dates during Celebration.
I hope we're getting
And
a lot of big
trailers.
announcements. We need a Celebration to really wow us. I don't know. Last year's Celebration was like
it had
wowy.
some things, but most of it they didn't even give to the audience viewing from home.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. That's right. Because we were sitting there like, oh, they're not gonna show us the trailer.
Goodbye
cool.
trailer. Oh, goodbye sneak peek. We didn't get to see like anything. And I understand the people who go, they get to have an experience, but maybe give it to them first and then put it out online like the next day.
Well, because it leaks online anyway. Somebody films it in there, and we're gonna watch it in 240p quality.
With heads in the screen.
Yeah,
we'll see it either way.
Cam,
We just won't like how we see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next little piece here today. Tales of the Jedi records an increase in viewer demand 2 months now after the release. The speculation is that the new season of Bad Batch coming out may have inspired people to watch or possibly even revisit the anthology of Tales of the Jedi. It came out in the fall.
There's been a lot of Dooku in Bad Batch so far, so I mean, not like directly, but indirectly, a lot of Dooku. So maybe people are like, "Well, let's go check out what that Tales of the Jedi thing was all about."
It could be. This data is coming from Parrot Analytics. It was published by The Wrap. It says the week of January 7th through the 13th, the company recorded an uptick of 5% in online demand for the series with respect to the previous week. This does not mean the viewership numbers have fully increased because Parrot Analytics doesn't get much data from Disney. Disney doesn't like to give out data. It gathers a lot from social media interactions about the series and articles published.
Well, see, that could just
piracy.
Be... Well, that could... Wow, they base off piracy too. That's interesting. But it could be that with the Bad Batch episodes kind of pertaining to Dooku, that people were tweeting more about, oh, go check out Tales of the Jedi. Not so much that anybody was watching it, as much as people were talking about watching it because of some small relevancy to Bad Batch.
I mean, according to The Wrap, during this period of time, Tales of the Jedi experienced 13.1 times more demand than the average streaming series. But this doesn't crack the top 10 of the trending on Disney, so we never got to see it up there. Though the top 10 did recently just include The Mandalorian.
Surprise, surprise.
With 38.3 times more demand than average for the streaming series. Probably because everyone knows it's coming and people are refreshing. Just like we're refreshing.
Yeah.
And putting refreshers out there for everybody.
Yeah. We should have
refresh that also come with our unique perspective.
It's unique, all right. Should be the 5th chapter reviewed tonight, right? We already recorded that.
We already recorded it. I gotta start the edit and get the work on. Woohoo! So I mean, maybe Bad Batch season 2 inspired a look back at a more recent animated project.
I think so. Just some.
I
mean, at least to some small degree.
I'm hoping. I like the animation getting a larger audience. I'm hoping the animation can someday evolve, so then they're not putting the trailers out going, parents, the Bad Batch is coming. No, I want it to evolve and going, okay, well, it's just not just for kids.
Well, it's such a strange thing to say, because your average parent who doesn't know that there are certainly fans of quote-unquote adult animation, that it's a whole genre, you could say, they're going to see cartoon and immediately assume it's for kids anyway.
I think people are getting past that. I think they're slowly but surely. We've got things like Invincible.
Well, no, but I mean, there's still a lot of,
anime
there's
is way more mainstream, too.
There is, but there is still a lot of parents out there, I'm sure, that have no idea that it is as mainstream as it is.
Well, even shows like that new Velma, that is not for children.
It's not for anybody.
It's not for anybody.
I mean, I've only heard, but I've never heard something so negatively reviewed in all my time.
But I feel like things that are more adult themed in the animation world are becoming a lot more mainstream than ever before. I mean, anime started becoming mainstream, and now because of anime becoming mainstream is when now these adult cartoons, I believe, are coming out.
I agree.
I mean, even the anime inspired Castlevania on Netflix.
There's
really
a
good.
lot of examples. It's not like it's a brand new thing either. It's been happening for years.
All right, last thing we're going to talk about today. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is one of the top 5 best-selling games of 2022.
I can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah. The final sales figures have been released by NPD, who does giant corporate mapping of these types of things. While there are no sales figures officially included on the list for a handful of reasons, they did track how well titles have sold relative to each other based on internal data. When all is said and done, the Skywalker Saga sits comfortably in 5th place when looking at the top 10 releases.
Curious what the top 4 were.
Well, here, I'll give you the whole top 10.
Ooh.
Number 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 by Activision Blizzard. Number 2, no surprise, Elden Ring
I thought that might be number
by
1.
Bandai.
Okay.
Number 3, Madden NFL 23 by EA.
Really?
Yeah.
God, every year I hear people complain about that game, and yet it's still...
Number 4, God of War Ragnarok by Sony.
Only 4. Well, it's had less time,
Hey,
too.
it beat number 5, Lego Star Wars, the
Yeah.
Skywalker Saga by Warner Brothers Interactive. Number 6, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet by Nintendo. Number 7, FIFA 23 by EA.
Same thing with Madden. So many
Every
complaints,
year.
yet every year people just buy it again. And you wonder why they don't fix the problems.
Number 8, Pokemon Legends Arceus by Nintendo. Number 9, Horizon 2 Forbidden West by Sony Interactive. Look at that. Sony Interactive, I didn't know they made God of War and Horizon. Nice. And then number 10, MLB The Show by Sony Interactive.
Interesting top 10.
The Skywalker Saga is, like most of these titles on the list, multi-platform, which really helps.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's available on Nintendo Switch, Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5.
I guess when you think about that, you have to look at something like God of War and be like, wow, that's only PlayStation.
Exactly.
So
that
impressive.
the fact that that made the list means it really performed well.
Yeah. Really did, yes.
Really.
You only have one platform to...
Another thing worth noting is that for whatever reason, Nintendo doesn't share their digital sales figures with the NPD, unlike Sony and Microsoft. So if one were to account for digital sales of any of the Nintendo Switch titles, they might push
Pokemon
them up
wins it
higher
all.
up. I mean, Pokemon could be a lot higher up on the list if they showed us what the digital sales on that were.
Yeah, it actually wouldn't stun me if Pokemon ended up being number 1.
But then again, if you look at something else that is available on Nintendo Switch on this list, it could push it up higher as well. Even Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga,
Sure,
which is
yeah.
available on the Switch. I find it interesting. I love these top 10 of the best of the years, and to see how much of the list I actually know and I'm familiar with.
Or have played or want to play. Because you don't play sports games, which felt like half the list almost.
Yep.
Or about a third
I
of it,
don't
I
really
guess.
play Call of Duties either. I played like
No.
some of the early ones, and I'm just not into it. Ever since they took couch co-op from me,
Yeah, Halo. There's only a few
I
kind of
liked
shooters
couch
that I like to
co-op.
play. Yeah.
You
That's
take
'cause-
that away from me, and I don't want to play as much anymore because I like to sit on the couch with Thor here and play the same game at the same time.
What a
I don't-
crazy thought.
Instead, if we both wanted to play
We have
Call
to
of
get our
Duty
own
together,
copy
we'd
and-
each have to get our own PlayStation and our own copy of the game.
Yeah, and 2 TVs and...
Well, yeah, but that's
yeah.
not gonna happen. It's just not. Because then you'd be like, well, I get to play on...
You go play upstairs, I'll
Yeah,
play.
you go play upstairs.
I'll play on the
I'll
big
play.
TV.
And then we'll be like yelling or having to... We have to use their
I would.
voices. It's so awkward.
Yeah, we'd be on
No.
Discord or something too on
Couch
our phone.
co-op
It would
needs
be
a
really
resurgence.
awkward.
That's one thing I admire about the Nintendo Switch is they support a lot of couch co-op games.
Yes, I like couch co-op. That's what I grew up with. I grew up playing games with my friends in the same room. Crazy, I know. Anyway, that's all we got for you this time. So now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. Are you sad about the Lars Mikkelsen news, or do you just not believe it? Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.